Welcome to the newsstand of the hottest new podcast, Opinions 2 Million, with your hosts, Big G, Money Mo, and Shawnee, where we'll be discussing the latest and greatest heat from the culture. Man, did you hear that beat drop? You ain't ready. Let's get straight into it. Opinions to reach 1 million followers, opinions to reach $1 million. New pod dropping every week. I officially welcome you to Opinions 2 Million Podcast. Let the beat rock.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Money Mo, and we're back at it again for episode 2. So without further ado, let's get straight into the topics. We're going to start this podcast off right. We're going to talk about the Tekashi 6ix9ine, Wack 100, and 21 Savage heated argument they had recently on Clubhouse. And then we're going to jump into the Tory Lanez Cassidy beef and diss tracks aimed at each other. In this episode, we're going to talk about cryptocurrency, give y'all a quick update. And we're going to talk about a very interesting topic, which is a universal question on if you guys think that social media is a good thing or a bad thing, question mark. The last two topics will be the one, and we're going to give a quick talk about the NFL season with the regular season coming up. And the last topic, which is going to be the best one, I think, we're going to talk about the situation where the Charlotte Hornets player, PJ Washington, got Brittany Renner pregnant, who is basically a famous IG model / scammer, and is now having to pay her $200K in child support payments a month. Now, as she broke up with him 2 weeks after she gave birth. So let's get straight into it with the 6ix9ine, Wack 100, and 21 Savage interview. Big G, give us a rundown.
We got to give everybody a quick introduction. We got the whole gang in here. We got Money Mo, we got Shawnee, we got Big G, and we got special guest Tommy. Say what's up to the people. I mean, Tommy.
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
What's happening?
It's Tommy, aka T.O. I'm glad to be on the pod.
T-time, the real T.O. T-time.
And we making history right now. I'm the first guest on the pod, so
let's get it.
Let's get it. We on the road to 1 million.
Let's go.
Big G, give us a rundown about the whole situation.
Man, the internet went crazy this weekend with the 6ix9ine Akademiks and Wack interview. They went and touched on a lot of stuff, going back and forth. Wack said that he was the first person to interview 6ix9ine to keep him contained. You've kind of seen, if you've been following the whole 6ix9ine story, that the interviews he's done in the past where he kind of been manipulating and controlling the narrative. But I feel like Wack was able to control his own and hold it down. But after the interview was released, the streets went crazy. There was a heated argument on Clubhouse. In 6ix9ine, in the interview, 6ix9ine called out 21 Savage, and then somehow on Clubhouse, 21, 6ix9ine and Wack started arguing, and 6ix9ine, as he always does, pulled a magical move and got Wack 100 and 21 Savage arguing, ready to fight, man. So let's just go back to the interview. How do y'all think 6ix9ine did in the interview? How do you think his public perception was changed by that interview?
When it comes to 6ix9ine, I feel like everybody labeling him a snitch don't understand the situation. So 6ix9ine, basically, what he said, and that, there's a lot of videos out there proving his points. So the people he snitched on were people that messed with his baby mom. They tried to kidnap him. It's a video on YouTube, them trying to kidnap him. And people really expect him to do 47. And he was famous at the time, making a lot of money. If you expected him to do 47 years, I know if you were in his position, you would snitch too. So that's what I wanted to clear up. Now, one of y'all could talk. I'm gonna come back to it.
What you think, Tio?
You saying it? I was in his position, I was snitched. So number one, I'll just say 6ix9ine should have never made it this far. I mean, he's still in the game. He's still getting interviews, and at that, Wack 100 is giving him the credit that he's giving him. He's talking about he's a civilian and all of that. To me, all of that's dead once you sell out everybody, once you do the music videos with the guns and you got the whole block out there. To me, he already crossed that line of being a civilian. That's all dead. So I don't know why Wack 100 is giving him an interview like he's someone that's outside of all of this. He's been in it, and he's not. He's giving him an interview like he's not that.
So this linking to the next thing, right? What happened the aftermath of 21 Savage thing. I just look at it as 6ix9ine being the person that he is. He got when you heard the in Clubhouse, Wack 100 and 21 speaking to them, each other in the beginning, like he was calling him nephew, like they had a good relationship. And look who messed it up. 6ix9ine, like he was really instigating it, like, oh, you said this, you said that, and he was laughing in the back, like he wanted, like he wanted a bigger scene to happen and something really to go down. So I just look at 6ix9ine that way, like he is not, I mean, like not like I'm from the street, right? Like where he's like messing me up or like snitching on me, but just looking at the type of person he really is. Like look at what he did afterwards.
I got two quick things.
Let me ask Tommy something real quick. I get what you were saying, Tommy, but if you got a Ferrari and you give the keys of your Ferrari to a 4-year-old, what do you expect them to do? They're going to take the keys and they're going to drive the joint like they know how to drive. 6ix9ine from the jump should have never had the keys to the street to do and the stuff he was doing. How I look at the whole situation, it was a trade-off, right? The block wanted to make some money. 6ix9ine wanted to get famous. They united. Things ain't work out. 6ix9ine was strategic, and at the end, he made the better play, and he finessed them. Right now, things are coming out. Is he a snitch? I don't even think it's a question. 6ix9ine owns it. He snitched, right? He said he's cool with it. He don't care. He's moving on with the life. Everybody in his family fed. So I think right now and how he's been carrying himself since he got out of jail, I think he has a point to prove. 6ix9ine is really mad that there's favoritism being shown, that there's other snitches in the music industry, that there's other people doing the same thing that he did.
Snoop Dogg,
and nobody cares about that. They only care about him, and they kind of canceled him from the industry. So at this point, I think he's trying to stir up any controversy he can to kind of out the whole system. It's like either y'all gonna love me or nobody. It's like I'm playing or nobody's playing. You see what I'm saying?
I got two things.
But you got
hold on. Let me tell you this. Look, so everybody know that loyalty is part of the street code. I think everybody know that. So when it comes to loyalty, people talk about 6ix9ine broke the code, but whereas the people he was running around with, they broke the code by not being loyal to him and trying to kidnap him, mess with his baby moms. So they broke the code too. And another thing too, like if they would have gave him 47 years, then he would have took the 47 years. Who would have respected him more? Like nobody would know who he was after those 47 years. So it's all about respect. And he don't care about respect. So he found a way to get out and make millions on the way. Because who didn't do 47 years? Yeah.
They already didn't respect him before he went to jail.
That's
so
what
it was no win. Everybody was saying that they knew he was a snitch before he went to jail.
Right.
So if he would have took the time, it was no upside to it.
And you can argue it boosted his career too.
So this is another perspective. Like he keeps saying that, oh, why do you guys keep coming after me? There's other people that are like, doing this and this and this. But you got to realize that before he snitched, he had the brightest lights, right? So like everyone was like, you were the hot guy, like everyone was like watching what you were doing, even if they didn't like it.
He's still the same level right now.
Yeah. So if you had the attention and if you do something wrong, obviously there's going to be like repercussions to it where it's like, oh, we already knew you were like that, right? So if you already have the bright lights and now you're mad because you did something wrong, and people, obviously that comes with the fame, right? Like if you're going to be up there's going to be people that are going to be looking for you to make the slightest bit of mistake. So I don't really get him being too upset about that, because it's like you kind of knew it was coming for you.
But he want people to understand the situation, like I said, they kidnapped them and stuff like that. So he's trying to prove why he snitched.
All right, let me ask y'all this: do you think he's fighting a dead cause? Do you think by him trying to fight for people to understand why he did that, he's beating on the door that nobody's going to open because they just don't, people just don't care, or that fact that he's a rat, it just stops right there?
I think he already opened that door. I think, after he snitched, like everybody thought he was going to go away. He's going to be quiet. He might drop some music on the low, but no other artists are actually going to work with him. But I just know with this interview, with the Clubhouse, 21 Savage coming at him, he's already sliming his way back into the scene. And that's what I don't like. Because I know, if it was any other way, any other situation, right? If this was the Italian mafia and he slimed him out the way that he did, he wouldn't be right back in it like he is now, doing interviews. And I mean, I know they're still coming at him, but he's still in the mix. And I don't know, he might be coming out with some music. He might be coming out with a new project soon. He might have another, back end to the whole thing. So we'll see.
Another big thing. A big thing too is like Gary was saying before he went to jail, he was getting views. And I don't think people really liked his music. They were just interested in it. And after he came out of jail, he was able to snitch. He's still getting the same amount of views. So it's like, he understands that like it's not gonna really hurt his career, but he's doing just enough to stay relevant. Because when his next song drops, it's gonna go crazy. We all know that.
Like I look at him as more of like a troll than anything else. Like I
Yeah,
personally don't
yeah.
listen. Yeah, I don't listen to his music or would ever enjoy his music. But I just knew he was relevant because the way he was trolling, you know, the stupid childish stuff that he was doing. Like that's what like gave him the attention that he got. And it's kind of like I mean, what else did you expect from a person like that? When you kind of like look back, did you expect something different? Like, right? Like, were you thinking that he was going to do something else, or were you thinking that he was going to be solid and hold it down? Like, what was it?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
I don't think anybody was solid, man. I think 6ix9ine, I think he doesn't get enough credit for his mastermind. I think he had a plan from the beginning. And if you look at him earlier in his career, when he was living in the one bedroom apartment with him, his mom and his family and his girlfriend, that from there, almost 18 months later, that he's one of the biggest artists in the world. Like nobody could plan that career trajectory. And I don't think I think that's where people are kind of falling off and not giving him his credit, that he literally plotted and executed a master plan that's probably going to be studied throughout the music industry for the rest of history, you know?
Gary, Oh, let me just ask Gary this real quick. Do you respect his career? Because he dogged a lot of people out in the process. Do you respect it?
Like I said, man, I think the whole thing was a business move. He partnered with the Bloods. In return, they was getting money, when he was getting was protection and clout, right? As soon as they crossed him, and then he made his move and crossed them. So I think like you got to think of it in business terms, and in sometimes in business terms, it's not about respect. At the end of the day, it's business and things happen. You got to keep it moving. But morally, I think he's wrong. Like he did a lot of bad stuff, but that's just the game sometimes.
Right. And it's like he predicts a lot too. Like he was predicting that the Breakfast Club interview was going to do the biggest views. I might have the biggest amount of views by the time the interview was done. And look, a few months later, it's already the highest viewed Breakfast Club interview, higher than the Birdman. So he has a master plan.
That was crazy.
Like, you see Blueface is still making music, and then he at the end of the interview, he mentioned like if he even Wack 100 plays a bit of Blueface, that's going to give him more attention that he could ever get, and it's just by an interview that 6ix9ine is doing.
Exactly.
So it's like he's still relevant compared to people that are making music to this day.
What do y'all think about the celebrity boxing? You think that's going to be the next wave? It's already a couple events been had, man. It looks like it's taking off.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. They kept mentioning it, but it looks like 6ix9ine wants a big chunk of money in order to do it. But I think it's not even more of like interesting to like see who's going to win. It's like more of just about money to them, right? Like it's not like we're going to see an actual competition where it's fun to watch. It's more of like, all right, there's just money for them. And as us fans, I feel like we're going to get cheated. They're just doing it for money. They really don't care about anything else.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's all about the money. But at the end of the day, it's like seeing two people you would never expect is always exciting. Like you hear 6ix9ine and Lil Durk going at each other all the time. And like people will pay top dollar for that just to see what happened. But I think like a lot of rappers going to be scared because it's like if they lose that boxing match, it's going to lose. I think 6ix9ine will be, but 6ix9ine is somebody who it's hard to cancel him. I mean, of course he's canceled, but he'll always be relevant in terms of like people just curious of like, so if 6ix9ine got knocked out, he was still doing a huge amount of views on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. And he would just feed into it. And his mastermind way would figure out a way to capitalize off it. Now let's transition into this Clubhouse, right? So when the Clubhouse happens, Wack 100 was on Clubhouse and the people was hanging his feet to the fire because they felt like he should have never sat down with a snitch. And Wack was like, all right, if y'all going to have all this heat from me, I'm going to bring 6ix9ine in here and he going to talk to y'all and answer y'all questions at himself. Y'all not going to keep directing these flames at me. He going to answer for himself. So he brings them in. Somehow 21 Savage joins the room, and 21 Savage and 6ix9ine had a conversation on the back channels with Akademiks when they was talking on the phone. 21 comes in the room on some all hyped up and flamed up, ready saying, Wack, you a lame. You should have never sat down with 6ix9ine. But Wack knowing the whole time that he and 6ix9ine had a 45-minute phone conversation
Right.
the night before. So Wack and 21 start turning up. How did y'all feel about, do y'all think 21 was wrong in that situation?
So I think 21 was right. Like one of the things that he said that was being like misunderstood is that he didn't say Wack 100 was lame. He said you like speaking to the rat and like you agreeing with the rat is what makes you lame. It's not like you a lame person to begin with. You just associating yourself is what makes you lame. So, and then he also said that the only reason he talked to him for so long is ask 6ix9ine, why did you do what you did? Like, why are you out here trying to do what you're doing? So it's not like he's really like friending 6ix9ine. He's actually putting him down. Like,
so
I don't think it's more a friend.
Doing an interview with 6ix9ine and asking them questions is lame, but 21 Savage undercover talking to 6ix9ine is not lame.
But he said when he spoke to
45 minutes.
Yeah, but he said he spoke to him and to question him like man to man, like, why are you doing this lame shit that you're doing? It's
but
not
he a
so
rat,
much.
See, the energy he
but
was
it's like
having
no,
for
that's
Wack, he didn't have for 6ix9ine.
So if someone's doing something wrong, it's more of like a confrontation where you're just speaking to him like, why did you do what you're doing, instead of just like going behind his back and saying what he had to say. And then him admitting that the whole club situation that went down, that he told him that in the initial interview, 6ix9ine didn't even know that 21 knew he was there, but then 21 admitted it. So he's saying that I knew you were there and all, and I don't like who you are. Don't associate me with yourself.
I'm at Z. I'm gonna ask you this one. If 21 Savages, I'm gonna bring it back up. If 21 Savages whole group try to kidnap him and they mess with his baby mama, you think 21 Savage do 47 years for him? Right now, where he is right now.
Nah, I don't.
You think he would? Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of hypocritical. It's hypocritical, like what 21 Savage is saying, but like, I just think they were frying him in the interview too. Like 21 had nothing to say. So
he was real quiet once Wack 100 turned up there.
He was like, I'm already scared.
Wack said, I'm gonna beat you up. Hold up.
He said that to 21.
I'm gonna slap you. I'm gonna slap you.
He's like, I'm not even gonna punch you. I'm gonna slap you.
21 ain't say nothing. 20 was like, okay, Wack, I'm scared now. I'm in Atlanta. I'm scared now. Wack. Yo said, he was like, I'm gonna meet up with you. We're gonna hit the one-on-one. Then Yo's like, matter of fact, I'm gonna slap yo. It don't get no more disrespectful than that, yo.
Right. Yeah, it don't.
I'm gonna slap you. So you said 21 came out on the short side of the stick with this one?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. He couldn't talk because they was talking so much.
But
over
I
him.
still think 21 was still right. Like, I don't think he
explains. You're not saying how.
So no. So no. I look at it like this. Like the first thing, like it's like two things that majorly happened. One was the phone call that he had with 6ix9ine before, and initially, I think when you're listening to it, it's more 6ix9ine like hyping it up, like, oh, you calling me a lame. It's like, no, you associating with him and like agreeing with him is what makes you a lame. So it's like 6ix9ine like more hyping it up and like, trying to make them against each other. Where in the beginning they're talking, and he's like, yo, nephew, this, and it ended with like,
you watched the whole interview, right?
Yeah.
Tell me one time in that interview where 6ix9ine and Wack agreed on something.
Nah, there were certain things.
Like what?
The civilian stuff?
When
6ix9ine was saying he was gangster. 6ix9ine said he was gangster because he was taking care of his whole family. He was really feeding people.
He was calling him.
But then
he called him being
people.
responsible. So there was
they never. 6ix9ine was saying he was gangster. Wack saying that makes you responsible. You still a civilian. They didn't agree on that. So you saying 21 saying you agreeing and you associate with the rat. 21 was on the phone with the rat. He ain't come in clubhouse to make it public that he was on the phone. Right. So I just don't understand the logic behind it.
But like, you don't know, like but when 21 was asked about that phone call, he said that like the main reason and the reason for that phone call was to ask 6ix9ine why he's doing what he's doing and why he's being lame. So it wasn't like when 21 is asked about that phone call in clubhouse, he says that.
But the whole premise of the room was you shouldn't be sitting down and talking to no rat. So if that's the energy, there's no exceptions to it. If you're gonna get at this man,
I think it's more of like confronting the person that like is the rat more than like it's a difference between like doing an interview and making money off of it than like going behind and confronting the person behind social media and just like speaking to them like man to man and just be like,
man, I think we can all agree. We're gonna go ahead and close it out, man. I think we can all agree 6ix9ine is a master manipulator of social media. So rolling into our next topic, do you think social media is an overall net positive or negative in our community?
I think if you're a celebrity and you're like an influencer, it's like the best thing out there. Like you see people making money off of Instagram and social media and YouTube and so forth. Like I think it's if you're a celebrity and influencers, there is no other better way than social media for you to promote yourself and make money.
I think it's a good thing. Like I think it's of course it has its like cons to it, but I think like I've never been like bored recently. Like ever since social media got like popping, like cause like just sitting down, you'll always find something on the social media that you can watch. They got different platforms out nowadays. So in terms of never being bored, like I remember before social media, we had just like gaming systems, stuff like that. I would just like, say watch TV shows and be bored. But I think social media keeps me entertained like 24/7.
Yeah, I agree with Mo and Z. Like it's definitely changing people's lives. The fact that you can get paid off an iPhone, people, coming up off of YouTube, just off of prank videos and, just living their everyday lives. Like that's never happened before social media. So
right.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I think y'all looking at it the surface level, and that's cool. But if you really start digging down deep into it, overall, do you think it's helped us or hurt us? Because I think if you're looking at kind of people with anxiety and mental health issues, I think that's been on the rise a lot since social media, right? There's been a lot of studies about, girls and how they look at social media and, certain images are cascaded. And then if you start looking at children and how, because you even just think like we're all in our 20s, right? So think about the age when we got our first cell phone versus the age when the younger kids are getting their first cell phone, right? I didn't get my first cell phone until I was in 8th grade, yo. And it was a flip joint. You see what I'm saying? These kids are getting iPhones at like less than 5 years old now, right? And the access you got to the internet is a powerful tool. Like I think on the surface level, it's cool, but when you really start looking at it and the effects, and I don't know if y'all saw that Netflix show, The Social Dilemma, whatever that joint was, where they talked about, how the misinformation and getting people and recruiting people into these cults and stuff. Like, I think it might be a net negative.
Yeah, and I think it's impossible to be like, somebody be like, there's no cons of social media. I think the biggest thing too is like it's hard for like people in relationships because it's like you see a different, everybody on social media like naked now, just showing too much stuff. So on that point, that's like the hardest, that's like the worst thing about it. But I think it's good too for like news. Like if you go on Twitter, you can get the news. Like it's players in the NFL that hear they get traded on social media faster than they see it on TV. So I think like I said, it's a lot of bad parts to it, but like the good parts is just the amount of news being spread like instantly.
So you saying overall the negatives,
I think it's 50-50.
The negatives way outweigh the positives.
No, I think it's about like 75%, actually like 60% positive, and then like 40% negative.
Well, speaking on that, like news and stuff, right? Not just like NFL players, but anything that's going on in the world, like compared to like newspapers back in the day or like going to like a website. But like, nowadays you can just like follow a news company that you can get information faster than, going to the website every few hours or whatever, like when you're getting everything at once. So it's definitely like a balance. I don't think that one is severely better than the other. Like I don't think it's worse or better than the other. I think it's kind of like a balance because there's a negative to it as well. And I do think with social media is kind of like an illusion. Like, you kind of think it is a certain way than it actually is. Like where you talk, speaking back to what Gary was saying with mental health and anxiety. Like if there's people out there that are looking at it like this is how people or their lives are in social media, like this is who the person is, or then it's kind of like a negative thing. But if you're like a celebrity, I feel like you kind of need that for people to think that, so you can like promote yourself and promote products. But if you're not, it kind of is like a bad thing where people are thinking that you're this or you're that.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of both. You know, you got the ability to start your own brands, change your life, you know, start a business, connect with people from all over the world, see the news. Like that's all good stuff. But I think, like Gary said, the worst part is like the division that it creates. And they talk about that in that documentary that he talked about. Like, you know, you got like, even with like the whole vaccine, anti-vaccine stuff, like, you know, the Black Lives Matter versus the All Lives Matter, like it's people that it's like so far into their corners of social media, like they have no idea what's going on in the world or what's really happening. So some people get so deep in that, and it spills into the real world too. So
yeah, exactly.
That's where it gets crazy, and that's where social media, you know, has changed things for the worse.
So that's what I'm really trying to ask. So I think we all agree on the surface level, it's cool, it's probably more beneficial. But as you dig deeper and deeper, does the effects start to get more adverse? The more you thrive and the more you trade your physical life for social media life, is there like a balance? Is there a point where it starts to be negative versus positive?
Yeah, I think it's a perfect balance, because I think like what Tommy was saying, like we learned so much history and stuff like that we always thought was true before social media. But then you got social media nowadays and they telling us stuff like, oh, Abraham Lincoln or some random stuff was like, oh, wasn't really for, you know what I'm saying, slaves like that. And you got the situation with Trayvon Martin when it first popped off. Like social media was going crazy. If it wasn't for social media back then, I think it wouldn't have like been an outrage as it was when it first happened. So it like, and then like a bad thing about it too was like celebrities, like they dealing with a lot of mental health. If they look online and they find something bad about themselves, like people talking bad about them, they can feel a certain way. Like Kevin Durant, every time he hears something bad, he makes a fake account just to go at us. Like no, Z can account for that.
Yeah,
notorious
The
for
burner accounts.
The burner accounts.
I don't blame him though.
It's a balance. It's 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, just speaking of what you're saying, like the words like viral and clout, right? Like what is clout if it wasn't really for social media? And it kind of like gives a lot of people careers. I know we kind of already touched on it
6ix9ine.
before. Yeah, like 6ix9ine or anybody like that's doing any troll videos or funny videos. Like what's the point of doing that if people aren't going to watch you? I think it's, if you really look at it, it's changed our lives so much, where people won't be doing the silly stuff and trying to get people to look at your videos if it wasn't for social media.
Right.
Yeah, I think it has its ups and its downs, but the downs of cancel culture ties right into our next topic. Mr. Cancel himself, Tory Lanez. But we ain't gonna talk about that, man. We're gonna get into that Tory Cassidy beef. Man, they've been going back and forth. They've been going at it. Man, it's been almost going on 2 years now. So just for some background, the last two Sway freestyles Tory did, he was using Cassidy's beats to do his freestyles, and then the most recent one, he was using some remixed bars from Cassidy. So Cassidy came out and was saying, come on, man, you could have shouted me out. You could have shouted me out. You could have showed me some more love on the track. And Tory was like, me rapping over your beat was showing you love. So the question is, do you think showing the old rappers or the older generation love or giving them their flowers while they're here is necessary, or is it not necessary? Because it seems like when you show them love, they say you are riding them or you're only doing this to get something. But when you don't show them love, it seems like, oh, you just stealing my stuff. So where do you think the balance is? Do you show love? I'm
gonna start this one off. Like the thing about Cassidy, I think he found this as a perfect opportunity to get back on the scene. Cassidy ain't been relevant. I mean, at least if you listen to battle rap, he relevant on that end. But in terms of like social media and the music industry, he felt that was a perfect opportunity to be like, all right, let me find something to come up with. Oh, he hating. He didn't tag me when he was talking about, because everybody knew the song was Cassidy's. I felt like Tory was trying to like show love to him, and then Cassidy just felt the perfect way to twist it up and get back relevant again. But it's going to die down eventually.
So you're saying that 2000, 2004 rap style is dead. Nobody trying to listen to that. Ain't
nobody trying to listen to Cassidy.
Right. Yeah. If T.I. dropped the album right now, the only relevant rappers from that era, like it's a lot of them, but nobody trying to listen to like a T.I. type rapper's album right nowadays.
All right, so
Everybody
taking it away from Tory and Cassidy, how do you feel about the whole situation of just giving the people their flowers while they're here, right? Or older generation. Do you think they should be given their flowers or they shouldn't? Because I can give you an example of Soulja Boy. I feel like Soulja Boy has been given his flowers numerous times, but it seems like every turn or every corner that he wants you people to keep giving them flowers, right? So I feel like it's something
he's taking them more than getting them.
Yeah, once you giving them, you can't. Once you give them, it's like you got to continuously give them versus people just showing love after people pass away.
Yeah, so I mean that kind of just goes back to like a celebrity passing away and then being thinking that they are a legend, right? Like tomorrow, if just some random rapper passes away, you see people just like idolizing them, like they were some legend or there was like, something that they weren't, just because maybe they weren't appreciated as much when they were around. So going back to your question, do we think that nowadays that the older generations or if we should give them their flowers or not? I just think you look at an example like J. Cole. He always gave his flowers to Nas, like him copying kind of his flow and the way he writes his music and it speaks. And I think he did it for a while, and then he kind of realized that these people really don't even care if you do appreciate him. It's not even about that to him. It's all about money. It's about kind of wasting your time even doing that and caring for them.
Yeah. I think it all depends on what you call a legend. I mean, it's different for everybody, and in this generation or in this like younger generation, right? Not everybody's going back and listening to the early 90s, and some people not even the early 2000s. I remember I was listening to the verses of the Locks versus Dipset, and I was hearing some of the Locks beats, and some of them I was like, "Yo, these are Wayne beats," but it was really Locks, and then Wayne came out and remixed their stuff. So, to me like Wayne. If I heard just the instrumental, I'd be like, "Oh, that's Wayne." And so, you got to realize some of these guys is so young that they don't even know the original creators of some of these songs. So it's impossible to even give them the credit. So, I mean, it's a different legends for every generation, but some people are going to think they're forever a legend when really they kind of just faded out of the scene.
Yeah, I think like it happens with sports too. I think like every time there's a new generation, they always gonna like their generations play it better. Like I always argue with old heads about Michael Jordan. But of course, they're going to say he's better because they lived during his time and LeBron came up after and they're going to hate on him. So I think like with time, over time, legends will always be forgotten. But if you're a real legend, you won't be forgotten. Like I think people like Cassidy, he's going to be forgotten the next 20 years, but somebody like Lil Wayne going to be remembered. Nah, so somebody like Lil Wayne going to be remembered forever.
Yeah.
So it's about like, because it's people,
It's certain legends. I mean, you got the Crenshaw tee on right there. That's a legend.
Shout out to Gary.
Shout out to Gary.
That's a legend, right?
Hey,
like
I'm not gonna let that slide. I'm not letting that slide, man. Y'all three are some hype beasts. I can't let that slide.
If anything, that's the opposite of hype beast. Like, because he doesn't get as much appreciation as he should.
Independent.
I mean, he said it. Fuck rap.
No, he is not independent.
Hey,
if you go on the YouTube right now and pull up a Nipsey video and you go to the details, man, you're gonna see United Masters
major
right
label.
There.
Major label.
Goodness, Mo. Stop the cap.
Major label.
I think early on he was independent.
Yeah, early on. That's what I'm saying. And then like
everybody's independent early on. When they dropped their first song.
I mean, we're independent early on.
Not as long as he was. Not as long as he was.
All right, Mo. All right.
We're gonna say that for another episode.
All right, Mo. Man, let's go. Yo, I agree with y'all.
Y'all got
me riled up, man. I agree with y'all. Then I think the legend and showing flowers is cool, but it can't get into a situation where you're constantly showing flowers, and that's why I kind of think people admire people after they pass away. If it's right or wrong, who knows? But Mo, who you think won that rap battle that they had in the diss tracks, Tory or Cassidy?
I think Cassidy had better bars, but Tory Lanez know how to make a better song.
And that's all that matters now.
Yeah, that's all that matters now.
That's all that matters now. Tory had that joint. He said, "I stole your flow and what?"
Right. And you can't say that. You can't come back from that. You can't, because he already accepted it. But
You
it's like, all
always
right, now
look
what
at
you
dead
got
in the camera. I stole your
Right.
flow and what?
Yeah, and it was cold. He had the video and everything.
Right.
Yeah,
And Tory
that joint.
trying to come back from the dead too. We're not going to ignore that. So Tory,
He coming
making
his way
back.
out, man. You
He
see
coming
that?
his way out. I didn't think
You
he was
see
going to
what he
recover.
recently did? He had an NFT project where he dropped an EP through NFT. He had 1 million copies. He sold for $1 each, and that joint sold out in less than 60 seconds. All 1 million copies.
That's crazy.
In less than 60 seconds. So, man, he might be winning, man. I think if you look at it, I think he's taking the opposite approach of being canceled from 6ix9ine, kind of tucked and ran off. But Tory's saying, y'all ain't getting me out that easy. Y'all, he's going to the people and he's letting the people saying, we gonna eat together. Y'all gonna help me out and I'm gonna help y'all out. But how y'all feel about NFTs and cryptocurrency? Y'all think that's gonna be the future?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I think now that the government's even getting more involved, I know they're trying to tax crypto and get it more regulated. I think the government's starting to like accept it to the point that where it's going to be around more often than was in the past. And I know you guys been on that for a while. I know Gary and Anthony and Tommy, all you guys been on crypto for a while now. So I definitely think it's going to be in the future, and especially with this NFTs, the fungible tokens, or digital, especially with like the world moving towards more technology, digital world. I definitely think that there's a future for it.
Yeah, like I was saying before, I think crypto is the future, but like understand it's always gonna be like a risky business, but like things they transition and then they go extinct after a while. Like nobody can really name me the last time they used change in a store or something like that. Like you can't remember the last time you had a penny and used that at a store. So I think the dollar is being kind of phased out a little bit. Like inflation is going crazy. And the cryptocurrency, it's like a world thing. So all the world is on the same page with crypto. So I think it's gonna be a transition.
You ever use a vacuum? You have to use coins for that.
I'm done. When was last time you used a penny?
Yeah, I don't know about a penny. I'm talking about quarters.
Yeah,
I'm talking about coins.
I might have
I'll
picked one
see a
up
quarter
off
on.
the
I'll see a quarter on the ground nowadays. I'll just walk right past it. I walk right past the quarter.
Nah, you got to pick it up. It says,
Oh, got it like that. That's money.
No, I'm saying
because
change is just so change is just so like with us nowadays. It's just like I remember back in high school, we could survive off $100 like the whole school year. Now money nowadays, it's like gas is going up, everything, and it's like
don't lie,
money. You could like if you had Christmas money,
you had $5 for the whole weekend back in the day. You was good, yo.
Christmas money used to get me through the whole year.
What's your thoughts on crypto, T.O.?
I mean, y'all know I got a lot to say about this topic. Crypto's here to stay. It's around. It's the technology of the future. The Tory Lanez thing, that's a good example of just how different it is. How he's not going through any label. He's not going through any big corporations, right? He's going straight to the people, even though that he's canceled, right? That's how crypto changes things. It's decentralized, so it's not going through. You don't have to go through someone. You could just go through the people. And I'll just say, if you don't have crypto, get some crypto. Start small, buy a little bit, but it's gonna be around. Like the fact that the government is even trying to tax it just shows how legitimate they think it is.
Exactly.
How they know it's gonna be around for a while. Like those conversations, they were not being had a couple years ago. So that's what I got to say.
And the big thing too is like, and I was about to say, a lot of people like they got to be humble about it. I remember like when the Dogecoin wave popped off. Yeah, when that wave popped off, it was like I would say people going crazy, and then like when it went down, they were like, "Oh my gosh, I said it sold." So it's like it's a humbling experience.
People and it's like second mortgages and all of that.
Exactly, and it's like people got to protect their passwords and like understand that if you die and you got like a Coinbase account, nobody can get into it. That money is lost. So it's like it's real risky. I ain't gonna lie, but everybody's moving towards it. So
I was just hearing in the news 2 days ago that they were trying to do something with these accounts like Coinbase.
Like accounts that's dead, yeah.
Yeah, and well, not just that they would know who's buying and selling, so that way they can track. That way, that's how they want to tax it. I'm not sure if that's going to even come into play, but that's something that they were trying to talk about is linking like you buying and selling from these crypto sites, so that way they can know how much you're getting and you're selling.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're already doing that. But
Yeah,
I think it's the way of the future. Some of you gotta take some time, educate yourself on, know what's going on. Like they already said, you gotta start small and just kind of build a strong foundation and work your way up. But it's definitely going to be the way. And if you kind of just look at the trend of how things are going with payments and stuff moving more peer-to-peer, just for a couple of examples, like you can think of, you know, how hard it was, like how to just the way people interact with money back in the day. Like cash used to be the most dominant way people used to interact with money.
exactly.
Then you started going to credit cards. Now you got peer-to-peer or DeFi finance,
Yeah,
where you
Apple
go,
Pay,
you
all
know,
that.
things like that, Cash App, Venmo and stuff. And then you go into crypto and you can just see how institutions are kind of falling or changing their
Yeah.
business models. Like even cars now, like the millennials, I think, are fueling these changes. Like people like 20 years ago, if you thought about you can order a car off your phone, right? You don't got to go hassle with the people at the car dealership, man. I got a crazy car dealer. When I brought my truck, it was the worst experience ever, man. I'm telling you, when I get my next joint,
Yeah, it's
I'm ordering that joint straight from Carvana or off an app because I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to hassle. It just makes it so even probably in the next 10 years, you're going to be able to buy a house like you buy something off the grocery store. I mean, you're going to be able to go in there, and just click and buy. I think that NFTs and cryptocurrency and the blockchain is something that's going to kind of revolutionize everybody's life. And it's either you're going to hop on and get educated earlier, or you're just going to have to be forced to learn behind the bandwagon.
Yeah. And I'll just add real quick, you know, you got to be smart about it, because as we go closer and closer to have more and more crypto, people are going to get scammed. You know, it's all these celebrities that will come out, especially when crypto gets real hot. Like Bitcoin is coming up again. I think it's like 40 or 50K, something like that. But all these celebrities start popping out saying, buy my new coin, buy this, buy Dogecoin. In general, stick to the top dogs, Bitcoin, top dogs, and Ethereum. You know, you can get into other ones, but you really got to do your research, because it's one thing about crypto is it is a lot easier to scam people and lose your money real quick.
Yeah, I got two cool things
Mo,
too.
tell them about the BitConnect story.
Oh yeah, me and Gary got scammed.
They got us.
They got it. It was like Trevor James. It was like we was in early. It was crazy. It was like
they got us both.
Yeah, they got it. I knew it was too good to be true. I was just like, all right, it's whatever.
Trayvon,
I was like,
he a famous scammer.
Yeah, he famous. Trevor James, whatever his name.
They got us cold, man.
He got it.
Nah. But like two quick things I wanted to say is like everybody's so caught up in the idea of holding. Understand that you gotta, it's good to sell and try to get back in it when it dips. Cause like people get so caught up in holding, they never make money. But if you sell and make money and it goes back up, just understand you still make money. So you can be happy on that end. And like everything gets phased out with time. Like people never thought Blockbuster would get phased out and to deal with Netflix and stuff like that. So I think money is like digital. I mean, hand money and stuff like that's on its way out. So just be prepared.
Yeah, there's even some restaurants and places of business that are not even accepting cash no more, man. Credit cards only. So you gotta be with the times. And one quick PSA: this wasn't financial advice.
It's all for entertainment.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So let's get on to the next thing. Mo, go ahead and introduce this Brittany Renner topic, man. PJ Washington, what's going on?
Oh yeah, this is a crazy one. So this is like everybody knew Brittany. If you don't know who Brittany Renner is, she's like an IG, like a model, whatever they call it these days. And she's like a, you know what I'm saying? She's going around trying to get the best NBA player, trying to get knocked up by one of them. So she had a video like a couple years ago saying her goal was to get a famous athlete get pregnant by one so she could finesse him and take his money and all that type of stuff. So it was like she found one, and it was this Hornets player named PJ Washington. And she was going to his high school games. Like the dude is 22. I think she's
that's
almost
crucial.
30. Yeah, it's crucial.
She was stalking him out when he was
She was scouting him, right? And it's like
under 18.
Yeah, he was under. Yeah, so it's like that's a double standard too. We'll talk about later on. But she basically finessed him. You know what I'm saying? Started talking to him. He thought he's young, so he thought he was in love, and thought like, oh, she really wants me. he probably had teammates telling him like, yo, this is like a dot. Like, don't trust this girl. But she probably put it in his mind like, yo, I love you. And I think she got married to him. I didn't know that. But what happened, Gary? She married. They married.
I don't know if they was married, but 2 weeks after the baby, she went and hit her with that child support. $200K a month, man. $200K a month.
So that baby is
18 years.
So on his rookie deal.
Only to find out on it. It's like, nah. But nah,
that's $2.4 million a year for 18 years.
So he just tweeted today that it stopped the cap. I don't know if you guys saw that tweet. He tweeted it today.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah. So he said contract only 300 mil. It can't be 2 point. Or his contract is 3 mil, so it can't be 2.4.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So I think that kind of has to do with him saying stop capping. I feel like this number 200K is kind of like brought out of thin air, where it's like make sense. Where if he's only making so much, how is he paying so much? And him like him addressing it and saying like stop lying. I'm sure he's paying money. There's right if she is who you guys are saying she is, I'm sure he's like she's getting her bag from him. But like him just addressing it today and saying stop capping, and then he doesn't even make that much. I mean, I didn't know who he was, his name, till this whole issue was brought up. Like, I don't know if you guys, I mean, I watched the NBA, but I wasn't even aware of who this kid was till
once his rookie deal is up, that's when it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. How y'all feel about it, man? You think that the warning signs was there, he should have paid attention, or it's on him? He made the mistake. You gotta own up.
Yeah,
it's tricky because you guys are saying that she's known for. I mean, you guys are already making these conclusions about her, so I'm sure that she's already had like an image. I
mean, she wrote a book about how to finesse people.
Yeah,
and if she did that, then it's definitely on him.
Videos on the internet saying athletes are dumb. They're the easiest. Have a baby with them, and you're gonna hit a big come up.
Yeah, and then if she's so vocal and she's made it so clear what how she's moving, and he didn't pick that up, and like.
But low key, PJ probably thought he was making a come up too.
Yeah,
that's probably what it was the whole time.
Because people never heard of him before.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
People never really heard of him, and she got 4 million followers. I don't know how many of them were after the whole PJ situation happened, but even probably when he met her, she was big and she was famous. So, I mean, that's probably what it was in the first place. So. It probably worked out for him early on, but now that he got hit with the child support, now he sees what she's really about. And, it's a cold game.
I don't got no sympathy from him, man. I think the signs was there. It was enough public. Yeah, it was enough public information on her. She had already been around the league, man. You gotta know the warning signs. You know what I'm saying?
But like Anthony said, like he was really young. You guys are
I
was 18. So I mean, I'm sure he wasn't thinking the right way at being so young and her being as smart as she is.
So do you think she finessed him?
Yeah,
that's
she
obvious. For sure.
Yeah, what if the shoe was on the other foot? It was a man 26 years old going to see an underage girl.
Oh yeah, he would have
been in jail.
He would have never heard about it again. He would never heard about it again.
Yeah, I don't think it would even gotten this far.
So is it double standard?
Yeah, it's a double standard, yeah. But it's like it's definitely double standard.
I ain't saying she a gold digger.
But she made it come up, like I said. It was like, I mean, he had to have, like I said, she probably made him feel like she was in love. And because he could look on social media, he definitely, before he dated her, he knew about it. So I don't know. She probably was like, I'm on birth control. And he probably messed up once. I don't know.
I think he got finesse straight up.
he got finesse. He got finesse.
I think Tommy made a good point about at first it might have been mutually beneficial with her having kind of a little clout around certain people and him saying being not that well known as a basketball player that messing with her could have boosted his public profile. But as soon as the little one dropped, man, it's only a losing battle from there. Like she just hit a big check.
Right. It's a hit.
Yeah, she got that passive income.
No crypto needed.
Right.
I just think the number is not as high as it is. I definitely think that she definitely got him, but I just don't think the number 200. That's
I think when he after that rookie deal.
Like, what type of child are you raising with a 200K a month? Like what is?
He got a ball out now. It's like nah.
He got a whole house to his name.
another thing is, what do y'all feel about like child support for like rich people, like them getting way more money than they need to support the child? How do y'all feel about that?
So I think it kind of goes with the lifestyle. If you are a celebrity and you have a lot of money and you're expecting your kids to have like that type of money too, like the unnecessary needs, or sorry, well, wants, not even needs, right? To like survive, like, oh, my kid needs to like have the most expensive pair of Jordans, and then, you know, like, and so on and so forth, where the child support is going to kick up too. Well, they should be living like the mother is going to say, hey, my child needs to have this lavish lifestyle too, not just getting by. Well, he needs to be having, you know, like the best care he can get.
In certain situations, I think it's cool. And like Z was saying, it's a lifestyle thing. But I think the whole problem comes in for me is the females living off the child support.
Right.
If you're talking about spousal support, that's different. But child support should be to support the children, and females shouldn't be living off that. So if it's certain amount, you got a lot of money and you got to pay a lot in child support, as long as that benefiting the kids, to me, it's all cool. But if we ain't work out a relationship, you ain't ready for to be eating off of me for no reason. That's how
right. I feel like it should be like it should be tracked better. Like I feel like it should be a separate account. Like if a woman puts you on child support, they make an account where it's like only strictly for the child, and it's kind of like being tracked on what's being spent.
I mean, you can go to a store and get yourself something and just put it on the child, right? Like, how are you gonna know?
I'm talking about like lashes or something like that. I mean, she pull out cash or something like that. It could be tracked better though, definitely.
Mo was like, what was that Fashion Nova charge?
Oh, that flies.
Oh, that Gucci bag.
That Dr. Dre.
You spent $2,000 at Rose Bar last night.
Hey, it was apple juice.
Right, exactly. So, like, yo,
what's going on with Lamar Jackson, man?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm a Frazy on this one.
Action Jackson,
the best QB in the league.
Yeah, so Anthony's whole perspective is that this guy gets too much slander and he's too young, right? Like he shouldn't have all of this arrows pointed at him and he's the future, he's this and he's that. I want to say this is my perspective. Okay, he's a nice quarterback, he's a decent quarterback. But when he gets praised, when he wins MVP and people are praising him like he's the future, he's this, he's that, it's like he gets held to such a high standard. And then when he does something wrong and people are like, look, I told you so, like, right? Like we were just waiting for it to happen, right? Then it's like, oh, why are you holding him to such a high standard? It's like you guys wanted it and loved it when he was winning MVP, and when he has a good game, he needs to be praised. But as soon as he does something bad and someone says something that, hey, look, he's not supposed to be as high as he is, that's where my whole issue with Lamar is.
I'm actually one question. Name one receiver on the Ravens above 5'9" that was good his past 3 years. Above 5'9".
Above 5'9". How tall is Hollywood?
Hollywood's 5'9". That's all I'm saying. Name one. I said receiver. One receiver.
To be honest, I can't name.
No. This dude won MVP.
Oh, I know. Dez Bryant was on your team last year. Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant 6'4", 6'3".
He came in later on in the league, and Dez Bryant
doesn't matter.
He couldn't get on the team.
He's still
trying. He couldn't get on the team. He couldn't get on the team in 1 point, like 2 years.
That was because of his anger management issues. That
he's not
good. He messed up his leg too.
Oh yeah, Achilles. Yeah. My bad.
So Lamar Jackson winning unanimous MVP with that type of roster. And the next year,
okay, I get that, right? He's a good quarterback. You're saying no. Let's agree with this. He's a good quarterback. He won unanimous MVP. He's this, he's that. But when he has a bad game, he hasn't done anything in the playoffs. That's where the whole problem is. Where it's like,
but he won a playoff game.
But the thing is like when you're praising him so high, like, oh, MVP, unanimous MVP, like it's no question he's the best, right? But then where it's like the performance isn't there, and we like, oh, well, like he had a, like, he's not playing well, he's not doing this. Oh, why are you guys coming at him so hard? It's like you yourself hold him to such a high level that when he does bad, it's like, okay, like we're gonna say something. You need to speak up for your MVP, who shouldn't be having games like this. And then it's like, oh, why are you coming after him, right? Like you're trying to play two sides, and I think that's not fair. Where you got to be like, you can't keep saying, oh, he's so good, and then be like, oh, well, give him some leeway to not have.
No, we get mad.
MVPs have bad games. Every MVP has choked in the playoffs, and
Carson was
done everything that he's done.
But like my thing is, you got players like, when's the last time you heard Kyler Murray get any slander? And Kyler Murray has never been to the playoffs. He was drafted, mind you. Lamar Jackson was drafted.
But okay,
John
that's
Frozen.
fine. But do you realize the standard that Kyler Murray is held to and Lamar? It's like two different levels. Like when people are saying Lamar, it's like exactly.
Lamar
but I get that.
No.
Okay, I understand that. But when you're talking about like forget the draft, like you see undrafted people get hired or held to a different standard. But like
he was getting standard his first season before he won MVP.
No, it's when he had a few good games and people are like, yo, he's the truth, he's this, he's that. And then he isn't playing to that level. And then someone says something about it. It's like, oh, you guys get defensive, Ravens fans and Lamar fans that, oh, how are you going to say this? How are you going to say that? It's like, you guys are holding him to such a high level that you guys don't like it when someone like, says something, anything bad about him, like, oh, it's
man,
okay.
I automatically discount any Steelers fan opinion. I'm gonna keep it as that.
Like Skip Bayless.
Lamar is the GOAT, man. I just think it is like how people think about things. People think on consistency levels, right? So Lamar set the bar high, and
and then
playoffs,
when he doesn't,
he hasn't performed. It's just a fact, right? But it's not to say that him not performing in the playoffs discredits everything else. I don't think that's the case. But it's just a bar.
I don't think people do that. I think Anthony kind of looks at it where it's like, well, someone says anything bad, I'm like, why are you saying it? But it's like, do you guys realize that when he does play well, how high you guys praise him and think like he's this, he's that?
But
you know how much attention he gets with his juke moves when he those people on the floor. But like, I get it, he's nice, right? He does that. But when he does something bad, be ready when someone is like there to like.
But you gotta understand, after his MVP season, he lost his best offensive lineman, Marshall Yonda. He lost Ronnie Stanley, who was the best pass protector in the league. He lost Hayden Hurst, who went to the Falcons, and everybody was injured. He had COVID last year, but he still won a playoff game. So people say he can't win the playoffs.
You know what all that was? All that was just excuses. That's all you told me. Like if we had this,
but he won a playoff game.
That's all it was excuses. That's all I heard was excuses.
He did win a playoff game.
He won a playoff game.
He won a playoff game with like.
So he was saying he can't. He was saying he can't win the playoffs, but he won a playoff game. That's my thing.
Talk that talk.
One playoff game.
Nah, right. I'm gonna just add. Add this real quick.
He said one playoff game.
He gets a different type of hate too, and that's what makes him different.
But no, you have to
understand. He black with tattoos.
No, he's black with tattoos. He got.
Do you understand the type of love he gets when he does play well?
For quarterbacks.
Do you know how much love he gets when he drops somebody on the floor and does a juke move? Do you understand how much?
Yeah, but they hate him after that.
Do you understand why? It's because you're held to such a high level. Like you do something like, damn, that's so nice, and then it's like when you do something bad, like. Why weren't you playing like you were last week? When last week you were all over ESPN and Sports Center. You dropping like a linebacker to the ground with a with and the next week you can't make a 5-yard pass.
So you think they're waiting for him to fail, right?
Yeah, because it's kind of like 6ix9ine, where it's like you're held to this when you have the bright lights and you have the attention, and then you do something wrong or something goes bad. You're like, oh, well, why are you guys all coming at me? Well, it's like because you had the bright lights. You had like
that's not true. Peyton Manning would lose every single year.
Exactly.
Playoffs. He never got any of that.
Peyton Manning didn't win his first. Peyton Manning didn't win his first playoff game until 6 years in.
Well, I'm not here vouching for Peyton Manning. I don't even.
But Lamar's basically Giannis. Like it's basically Giannis.
Nah, like Lamar is James Harden. Like great regular season player.
Lamar don't win a championship. He's Giannis.
But Giannis won a championship. I'm not gonna let that slide.
But people used to hate on Giannis because he lost last year in the playoffs. But listen, and now people hate Giannis for his moves, but he won a championship.
But no, his moves, it's more like this. James Harden is like one of the best scoring, like regular season player, juke moves. You talk about like getting to the bucket, like step back.
But Lamar won in the playoffs.
Listen, okay, so you know you said one playoff game. You know how many series James Harden has won in the playoffs? Like,
but how old is James Harden? How old is Lamar Jackson?
Okay, but
so Lamar got 8 years to catch up to him.
NBA,
and I'll bet you money that Lamar will catch up to James Harden in 8 years.
Well, Lamar, if you guys give him as much help as he's begging for, like James Harden, he's got the help that he begged for. No, look at the help that he got now. Now you want to make a bet. Who's going to win first?
Can we agree that Lamar gets unnecessary hate?
But look, here's the big thing too: the vaccine. Josh Allen did not get the vaccine, and people come at Lamar for not getting the vaccine. And Lamar had COVID. If you have COVID twice, you know what I'm saying, you build the antibodies up for a couple months.
Dr. Mo at it again.
You know what I'm saying? And Josh Allen never got the vaccine.
I agree with that. No. So I agree.
So Lamar's getting hate because he's a black dude from the hood.
No, I agree. There's definitely certain things. Okay, listen, I agree that there's definitely situations where Lamar gets hate because of
Unnecessary.
he's black, right? No, he's black. I
Yeah.
get that. I'm not
And Patrick Mahomes and
ignorant to that.
Kyler
I'm
Murray
not
don't
ignorant to
count
that.
as they don't.
But if you talk
Patrick
about a
Mahomes don't
player and
count as
I'm
black.
looking at it just
Whoa,
like
bro.
He don't.
Wait,
He don't
what did you
count
say?
as that.
I didn't hear. What did you say?
Patrick Mahomes don't count as that black player from the hood, like
What?
Russell Wilson. They grew up like Lamar's that type of dude where people hate him because he's from the hood.
Nah,
He got
listen.
tattoos.
I think
Wow.
Lamar is probably a nicer person than like just looking at both of them. I think when you listen to Lamar speak and the things you hear, the stories about, he's a nicer person than Patrick Mahomes is.
He
Like,
is.
you talk about him like doing press conferences and like being all like a gentleman, like, you know what I mean, like speaking properly and addressing people like please, thank you, and all that. You see, I think when you say hood, I don't think that that's the proper.
But look,
I think
Lamar
he's not addressing the elephant in the room.
But look, here's what I'm saying.
Unnecessary hate.
No, he
Lamar
does get
Jackson.
it, but no. I'm agreeing with that. He does get it, but me as like a watching sports and looking at Lamar, I'm like, okay, you getting the love, I get it. But it's like when you're at that level and you're getting the love, then be ready for when you're like not performing. And this is coming from a Steelers fan too, so you got to like take that into perspective.
We don't take it in a. We getting on to this next topic.
But
y'all gonna go look at both.
No. I got one more. People coming at Deshaun Watson when
Right.
Ben Roethlisberger is a known rapist.
No, but the thing is, you got that's facts. That has race has to do with it, right? There's no ignorance.
It's a black man trying to come up.
Yeah, but
Bro,
you gotta
that's the YouTube algorithm all up, yeah.
We can bleep that out.
All right, that's But look, Lamar won the Heisman and was Heisman finalist 2 years in college, and he got drafted like the fifth quarterback taken. He was the fifth quarterback taken. So I think like that black thing with QBs is definitely like elephant in the room.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. I think it is.
But I think when you look at it like Michael Vick, that's kind of like what they expected from Lamar Jackson. And I think there wasn't a reason where people weren't going to think that he's going to perform the way he is.
Well, how about we talk about this in our next pod? Black quarterbacks.
But
get unnecessary hate.
Z's like, I'm not done.
No. Listen, I'm not saying that it's not there. It definitely is there. When you speaking of like the Josh Allen, the Bills quarterback, not having it, and it's not even an issue. Like nobody even talks about it, right?
Yeah.
But with Lamar, I definitely agree. There's definitely like there's hate because of his. I wouldn't say hate. Hate is a bad word. Like there's like I guess people just use or trying to attack him for different reasons just because of his skin color, right? That's there. But I'm talking about Lamar Jackson, a Baltimore Ravens starting quarterback, right, for the Baltimore Ravens, and you're getting this love and you're on Sports Center because you're throwing linebackers to the floor with your juke moves, and then you can't win a playoff game. Ben Roethlisberger is a better quarterback.
But he won a playoff game. It's like that.
You won 2 Super Bowls compared to 1 playoff game.
But Lamar is
Roethlisberger won a Super Bowl in his second year starting quarter, second year in the league. He won the Super Bowl with Jerome Bettis, Hines Ward.
It sounds like
you remember that team?
Personal.
It sounds like a big team. It's like no.
This sounds like a personal problem, man. Y'all gonna have to resolve this off the pod, yo. We're gonna keep it moving on to this next topic. The internet's been bubbling up lately, man. There's some rumors that there's a Verzuz coming up, a Lil Durk versus Chief Keef. How we feel about it, Mo?
Yeah, Lil Durk versus Chief Keef. Like back in the day, they always had a problem with each other, and like it's a battle who started the drill movement. Like if everybody don't know, they're the 2 pioneers of the drill movement that started. You could argue Lil Durk started like the drill movement, or you could argue Chief Keef started it. So I think old Chief Keef music is way better than old Durk, but I think Durk is going to obviously lasting way longer than Chief Keef. So I think it's going to be
nobody's worried about that. No Verzuz, man. The Verzuz is the best 20 songs versus best 20 songs. So I'm not even gonna have it, man. Durk is getting washed, man. He don't got no hits. Durk is getting washed 20-0 Chief every day, yo. Durk ain't winning a single song.
After Finally Rich is over for Chief Keef. After Finally Rich came up.
Mo, you tripping, yo. You tripping.
They're gonna laugh now.
I think I kind of agree with that. Like I heard Chief Keef up till then. After that,
like high school.
Yeah, and after that, it was just like, I mean, the music wasn't there. Like I know he was putting out music, but for me as like a fan, but I mean, I feel like even up till then, I think he's a better artist than Lil Durk. But that's
Finito came out after Finally Rich, right?
Finito was one of the later joints. Durk is not keeping up with Sosa, man. Finally Rich, Finito, Hate Being Sober, I Don't Like. The Durk has nothing can touch that, man. Those songs, nothing can touch.
But that's
all.
You're gonna keep it going. Macaroni time.
Yeah.
Yo, oh my.
But you can argue like, all right,
you can't argue nothing.
You can argue his new stuff, like
his new stuff. He don't got no new songs he put out solo dolo.
Like Hellcats and Trackhawks.
That's features, man.
Hellcats and Trackhawks
doesn't have a single song that he can put.
The Push
Hellcats and Trackhawks don't have King Von.
No auto-tune Durk. That no auto. You can go about. You can go look at the views of that. Don't get me wrong. Nothing will top. I don't like.
Yeah. You
no auto-tune Durk.
So what you saying the score is? Verzuz is 20 songs. What you saying the score is? And who is it?
20 songs. I think it's Chief Keef got such a strong fan base. Personally, I think it'll be a tie. But I think people go with Chief Keef.
So you saying out of 20 songs, Durk's winning 10 and Chief's winning 10. You're not telling me that straight out with a straight face.
Yeah.
You're not telling me with that a straight face that Durk's winning 10 and Chief is winning 10 with a straight face.
Yeah, the best 10 songs. Yeah, he's not winning, but I think like whole catalog, Durk is winning because Chief Keef fell off at the Finally Rich.
Oh my goodness.
Finito was it, and that was a 4th song. Like I don't even like it. I just like that.
You act like they gotta play songs like they had in the last 3 years, man. It's the catalog. Chief,
who had a better career? Durk, right?
Career, maybe Durk.
Yeah, Durk. Yeah, Durk, because Durk got Laugh Now, Cry Later. Durk got that jerk feature.
How you just talking about how long he's been in the game? Or,
Durk's been in the. But Sosa, I don't think Durk has been as hot as Sosa yet. Sosa was extreme. Durk.
No, you're right. You're right.
He might have had some longevity, but you're not gonna sit here and tell me with a straight face they go Verzuz head up and it's gonna be no at 10-10. That's cap, straight cap.
Yeah.
I mean, because Durk's new songs are hard though.
Mo, I don't care, They not touching that old stuff.
I think Anthony just referenced that just because he got a feature with Drake.
No, because Hellcats and Trackhawks. You can look at the views. You can look at all the views on Durk's songs right now.
Man, we could go to Apple Music right now.
Let's go to YouTube.
Nothing is touching.
But look, if somebody drop an album right now, obviously Durk is going to have a better album and the more hype.
No.
Yo, Durk will. Gary knows it too.
So
Gary, you know, Gary, don't lie to these people.
Sosa is a legend.
But if they drop,
you sleep, Durk ain't put nobody on. Durk only put one. Chief Keef got so many sons in this game.
Dirk freeing everybody. Dirk had King Von.
Von. Who else?
You
can't name nobody. You can't name nobody.
LA
Capone. He was oh my goodness.
What did you say?
You are a clown,
But King Von is bigger than anybody Chief Keef ever put on. Yes. No, King Von is better than Lil Reese. No. You know that. Not
the Grim Reaper.
Oh my gosh. We can go to the views on that.
No, go ahead and close it out, man. I'm disgusted. Go ahead and close it out, man.
Nah, hold on, bro. You can't talk about the Grim Reaper.
The Chirac Grim Reaper.
Episode 2. We out of here. This Mo Money Moby with some words of encouragement. Remember to keep God first in anything you do and stay committed to your dreams and keep grinding, as those are essentials to reach your desired outcomes. Too often we spend precious time on issues that have nothing to do with really want in our lives, and we get distracted by others and what they're doing and achieving. Understand that life is temporary, so keep grinding, make dreams happen while you can, and don't get caught up in worldly things. TMC, Money Mo, we out.
Roll the outro. Thanks for tuning in to Opinions to Million podcast. Please subscribe, like, comment, share. New episode dropping every week. You want to hop on the next one? Shoot us an email. Follow us on all social media at Opinions to Million. We out.